Hi, Ellie. Yeah, sorry you couldn't hear anything. We were muted. We had just started, so we were making sure everything was set before you heard us scrambling to figure stuff out. Samson, you mind go ahead and say something so we can test that?
Hey everybody, how's it going? Or check if we're not live yet. Whatever.
We're definitely live. The question is, can they hear us? I wish we could mute people in real life. Yeah, seriously, that'd be nice. Panic Roll, howdy. How's it going tonight?
Oh, everybody, happy Monday.
Ellie says hi, Samson. I don't know if you're on the
Ooh,
chat, so you can.
you know what? I need to do that.
I mean, I'm happy to read like stuff off to you, but I don't know if that's annoying for you or others. So.
No, I mean it's good just because I can kind of see whatever's going on. Let's see, where's this?
Hmm.
Cool.
Nope, that's not what I want to do. There has got to be a way for us to collapse this stupid little bar over here on the left of Discord, but I have no idea what it is. So it's gonna take me a few minutes to figure that out. You'll have to excuse me while I dig through my settings. Um,
Can you? Oh no, you can't minimize Discord because then they won't see my screen, right?
right. Aha. Is that it? No. That's what I thought it would be, but apparently that is not the case. Panic roll. What's for dinner tonight? Gotta ask. We need the report. The 411. Hmm. Oh man.
That sounds like a TV show name.
What, the 411?
But like Food 411. That could be
Food.
like
Oh
a,
yeah.
a Food Network channel.
There you go. Oh, that's really bugging me. No, that's not what I want. All right, I'll figure it out later. So, Samson, you might just have to zoom in every once in a while for people to see what's going on. But, um, hello to everybody. We're here today to talk about some comic book stuff while Samson does some more digital artwork for the comic.
Yeah. Comic book news, maybe.
Some comic book news, yeah. Maybe we might have some. You might notice that I have a slightly different setup. I have a stream. I have a stream setup going. So I've actually got a new chair and everything like that. And I'm just tweaking one of the little panels here. There we go. All right. The camera angle is a little bit wonky. I have not figured out how to set up the other camera to be kind of up here. So right now it's off to the side. But hopefully I'll have that fixed by next week. So yeah, how's everybody doing this week? Anybody got anything interesting to talk about?
So I don't know if you heard or not, but Netflix has just optioned probably the greatest story ever. Hyped about it.
Oh, which one's that?
Doing a series. They got the rights from DC. Apparently, it's going to be like the most expensive show they've made.
You cut out there. So what is it?
The Sandman.
Oh, really? Like Neil Gaiman, Sandman.
They optioned it from DC, and I guess that apparently it's going to be like one of the most expensive shows they've ever made. They're like going to throw a huge budget at it.
That's
I don't know how many
interesting.
seats. Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Hmm. I was doing something and I forgot what it was. Panic Girl says I was in the kitchen when you asked, but I heard you chicken, broccoli, mac and cheese. Nice. That actually sounds. That sounds like a good dinner. I'm I'm kind of jealous only because I'm hungry. I haven't eaten yet. Send me some of that Panic Roll. Make it happen. Um, but that's cool. Sandman's kind of an interesting comic because it's less it's less action packed than a lot of other like superhero comics. it's more cerebral, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So that's pretty cool news. Actually, I had not heard that. When did they announce it?
I think they just announced it this morning.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I'm pretty hyped about that. That's my all-time favorite story for the
Yeah, for
Sandman. I just
sure.
love it. That guy's a genius.
Yeah, Guyman's pretty good. He knows what he's doing. Sorry, I'm still fiddling with my settings just a little. All right, there we go. That'll work for now. All right. Having chicken two great minds. Yeah, I don't know. I know you two pretty well. I'm not sure if I would put you in the
Ouch.
great minds category. Similar
Ouch.
minds, maybe, but um. Oh, that's what it was. I actually was reading. How do I make Twitch stop telling me it's X month anniversary? It will. I think it will continue to tell you that until you just say to like include it in your next message or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I know there's a way. I just am not sure what it is. So I was reading about a guy in comics. What is his name? Scott Lobdell.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
So apparently he's a writer for Red Hood, Outlaw, and Nightwing, and he's done a couple other things for DC in particular. He's also done some pretty big X Men storylines. He did some Buffy the Vampire Slayer for Dark Horse and things like that. So I mean, he's well known enough that he's worked on some pretty big titles. And apparently he was being a complete creeper with someone. Um, this poor lady at a convention that he was at.
Sweet. What I'm sorry. I just want to chime in.
Go ahead.
Really,
You cut out
I
again.
don't. I just don't understand these guys. Like, what the hell are they doing?
Yeah, I
Finish the
don't know.
story.
I don't know. I don't know. Like he basically was like he was kind of hanging out at her booth or while she was setting up, and this lady was setting up, and he saw that she was wearing a wedding ring, and his response, he went, "Oh, you're married, huh?" She said, "Yep." And he's like, "Well, it's cool. I like a challenge." It's like, what the hell does that even mean? And then the interaction just nosedives from there. So I'll shoot you the link to the story because it was pretty egregious. So
So this was at a con. Is she like a professional as well in the industry, or was she like
yeah,
an exhibitor?
you know what? I'm not. Hold on. I know it's in here. Oh, actually, she's unnamed. They refer to her as under the pseudonym of Lynn for the purpose of
Mm.
the article. But apparently, she wanted to remain anonymous for obvious reasons. It's not like comics is a particularly robustly progressive industry in a lot of cases, so I can understand. Was someone recording it? No, but that incident was based on the female professionals kind of account of the story, but there were text exchanges, pretty extensive text exchanges where she was just trying to be professional about stuff, and this guy just kept being creepy and making various innuendos and whatnot. So they probably don't want his fans to dox her or ruin her business. Yeah, I can agree with that because it definitely would happen. You know, people would get all up in arms. No, she's trying to ruin his career, or maybe he's just an asshole. Let's consider that that's an option. But anyways, So I thought that was not interesting, not good, but I mean, I think it's worth at least kind of touching on briefly in our discussion about comics.
See,
Sad.
that's the
So,
only
go ahead.
way is bringing it to light. So
Yeah, exactly. If we I realize that we have no reach in the grand scheme of things, but you know, we need to put it out there that it's not cool and we don't accept stuff like that. And hopefully, if more people do, that'll become less and less common. So don't be shitheads. Doesn't matter who you are or what you're doing. Just don't be jerks. Be nice to people. People are toxic. Yeah, yeah, they are. Sadly, and that's professionals and fans alike. Sadly. Samson, we're gonna have to get your camera thing going so that they don't have to look at just my ugly mug during this entire thing. But
they're not missing anything over here. But yeah, I definitely do need to get that going.
we need to balance it out. But anyways, the whole reason that we're doing our geek out tonight is to talk about comic books. Specifically, we want to do a couple of reviews on some comics. Um, I had talked before. Wanted to review Aliens: Dead Orbit, which I'm still going to review, but I wasn't able to get my hands on a copy this week. I have it ordered, and it should be coming in before next Monday, so I'll talk about that then. But in the meantime, I picked up a couple placeholder comics, and the first one you can see up on screen here, called Revival, um, published by Image, and it's been going on for a little while because they're up to like volume 8 or something crazy. But the basic idea is there's this small town somewhere in the American Midwest where like 23 people suddenly just get up from being dead and kind of resume their normal lives. Um, but it's not like zombies per se. They're actually alive and back to being regular people, except for the fact that a lot of people knew that they died and are now not dead. It's kind of an interesting take on the not quite zombie apocalypse idea. Undead, yes, exactly. Panic roll. Ellie says I've been really lucky that most of my encounters in fandom have been pretty positive. I know a lot of women who've had some ugly experiences, but so far so good. Yeah, definitely there are some horror stories out there. So hopefully, as we get further into the 21st century, stuff like that becomes less and less common. Fingers crossed. But yeah, and one of the things I like about it is a it's got a decidedly kind of religious undertone to it, where you've got one character who, or several characters who are talking about how this is God. It's the sign of what the Book of Revelations or whichever one says people will rise up from the dead, or I forget. I'm not really into that stuff. Um, and there's some kind of implication that there's maybe some demonic possession or other supernatural stuff going on. I don't want to throw out too many spoilers, but Revelations. Thank you, Panic Roll. Appreciate that.
Demonic possession.
It
Just kidding.
yeah, it hints at it. I'll let you read it for yourselves because that takes a little bit of a turn. But imagine that could be angsty as people move on from loss, but you have a place to live. How do people react to your return? Yeah, I can agree, and that's actually one of the things that they kind of touch on is that, like I said, the people who come back aren't entirely normal. They're not themselves exactly. So, should I quote scripture in chat? I mean, if you want to, I'm not going to stop you because I know that you're not doing it from the perspective of trying to preach to someone. You're just sharing what scripture says. So I can appreciate that. No demon would want to be stuck with me. I can vouch for that. Um, but overall, I like Revival. I think it's a pretty good comic. I only read the first volume, which I think is the first six, maybe 7 issues, something like that. Um, and the first volume's pretty good. It sets up some interesting kind of mysteries, and you get to see some stuff, some interactions between the characters. The artwork is it's solid. I wouldn't say it's great, but it's perfectly acceptable. Um, it gets the point across. The artwork does. So, I think it's worth checking out. Um, I don't want to say anything else because I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
Use like
Just
that with your.
it's just showing off. Don't mind me. All right. I take it that means Panic Roll. You went to some kind of church growing up, religious school, maybe. I don't know. Cheeky Ellie, you would know. Treacherous Demon Spawn. Yeah, you know. Like the woman on the cover is wearing environment appropriate clothing. Yes, yeah, they actually do a really good job of not doing a lot of really gratuitous like artwork with the female characters. The main character is actually a cop, a female cop. So, she's pretty much always in some kind of a winter coat, parka uniform thing. Mom is a Baptist, stepdad is a Jew. Oh, okay, well, fair enough, yeah. I was raised Baptist for a few years. Not like religiously raised Baptist, but that was, I think, the church denomination that we went to. Um, I remember pretty much nothing about it other than kind of thinking that I didn't want to be there. I don't know, Samson. What did you have a religious upbringing when you were a kid?
Of course, yeah, yeah. My mom is a practicing Wiccan, and my dad is Mormon. Really interesting childhood with that, but
Wiccan and Mormon. That is definitely an interesting combination. Yeah.
as Catholic, so I don't know how that all worked out. And I also went to Baptist school every Sunday and every Wednesday, but Wednesday mostly just for the food, so I didn't mind it because they always had a potluck. So
That's funny. So you have a bit of a grab bag of religious backgrounds.
I actually really enjoy studying religion a lot. It's a fascinating thing to me. So I know a lot about a lot of religions. So
See, now I have a general interest in religion as well, but not so much from a content perspective, more from the perspective of like how it affects people and how people use that to justify their behavior. That's kind of what interests me.
as well, but I really love. I mean, again, I'm not religious at all, and I hope this doesn't offend anybody, but the mythology is amazing. Like if you go across all the different religions and see how they sync up and stuff, it's not to me, it's not any different than Greek mythology, and I really love all this stuff. So
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it definitely has a lot of lore, content basically that you can delve into and you can make interpretations and things like that. So there's definitely some interesting stuff there. Panic Roll apparently likes to study religion too, so that's good to know. Something in common.
nice.
Interesting how it's shaped people's lives and politics through history, and very interesting the common threads that can be found. Yeah, I can agree with that. Like, so many major world religions have these similar threads, and I think I talked about this in a previous stream for Senua's Sacrifice, where we were talking about kind of mythology and how, like, Egyptian mythology has Osiris and Norse mythology has Balder, both of whom die and then are reborn, which is very, Judeo-Christian with Christ and all that stuff. Um, so yeah, definitely a lot of parallels between them. Most interested in the things that get excluded from religions and why. Okay, all right. You got an example,
It's
Panic Roll?
great. Apocryphas and books that the Christian Church deemed unfit to print.
Oh yeah.
Stories in there. Yeah,
Hmm. I mean, I guess that would make sense. There must have been people who the Gnostic Gospels. Okay, interesting. What are the Gnostic Gospels? Panic Roll. The Dead Sea Scrolls. Oh, I thought those were supposed to be like a big thing in Christianity. Or maybe it is in certain denominations with Christianity, but not Catholicism. I don't know. They all seem like they're the same damn thing to me. Living in the Bible Belt, it's interesting to talk to people that get their minds blown by the concept of how society functioned before Christianity was widespread. Interesting. I mean, I guess yeah, there are a lot of people who just kind of take it for granted that that's the way it's always been, and they can't comprehend of a way of life before that. Panic Roll, there are accounts of Jesus that were excluded from the Bible. Oh, gotcha. So like all the times he cut off little old ladies in the line or whatever.
Bible, he's born, and then all of a sudden he's 30. There's a whole life there that's missing.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. I remember when I was in Sunday school when I was going to those Baptist churches being like, "Wait a minute. What did he do before he did all this?" So, one of them claims he was married. Wasn't Doesn't it claim he was married to Hold on. No, that's someone else. I'm Oh, Mary Magdalene. Okay, yeah. But wasn't Mary Magdalene supposedly the whore of Babylon, or am I getting that's probably the wrong person. I'm probably getting that messed up.
The smear campaign.
It was a smear campaign? All right, fair enough.
Yeah,
Interesting.
power, at least according to them, anyways. I think that's all it really is a power play, position of power.
Okay. Whore of Babylon is the apocalypse. Wait, like she's the personification of the apocalypse? Oh, okay, I see. Gotcha. So Mary Magdalene was a prostitute, but Jesus married her, and the church went, "Yeah, nope, screw that," and they ixed it. They nixed it. They went in and redacted it, big black markers. I think there was a serious smear campaign. Yeah. Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. Well, yeah, revival definitely kind of ties into or calls back to a lot of those things. I know they at one point they basically say this is, you know, people coming back to life is a sign of, is it the end of the world? The what's the word for it? The reckoning, the resurgence. It's an R word. Men of his culture at the time did not stay bachelors. Yeah, I can agree. Yeah, it's not end of days. It's the rapture. That's it. The rapture. I'm pretty sure they say something. It's like sign of the pending rapture in the comic and stuff like that. So it definitely is drawing heavily from like a Christian background. Yeah, Ellie the Rapture. That's the thing. Panic Girl, welcome back. Your neighbors came to your door. What terrible neighbors! How dare they come and bother you? In my opinion, the best neighbors are the ones you never see. No, that's not true, but neighbors showing up randomly can be really annoying. Speaking
It can.
of, go ahead. Sorry, Samson.
Can you hear me?
You cut out a little bit there.
Man, I'm having a little bit of trouble here. I'm actually the chat and stuff is going away from me. I'm gonna try doing some stuff, so I'm not gonna talk for a minute.
Okay. So speaking of neighbors being annoying, yeah, panic roll. Gotta love apartments. Everyone wants to talk to everyone. I can agree with that. When we moved into our last set of apartments before we bought our house, Sarah and I tried to make nice with we tried to make nice with the family that shared the landing because it was basically it was a 4 unit building. So you had or an 8 unit building. So you had two upstairs, two downstairs, and you entered all four from one side. And so you'd have a set of stairs on either side, and you'd walk up and you'd go to your landing, and then you'd have the two doors kind of right across from each other. So we tried to make nice with the family across the way, but we were already kind of off to a bad start because we pulled into our parking spot, which was basically right next to theirs and right in front of their like balcony window. And so we pulled into our parking spot, and the wife like is standing on the thing and goes, "Don't hit my car." And we were like, okay, hello to you too. It's literally our first time coming, like showing up here to move in, and you're kind of being a jerk. We were like, yeah, we won't. She's like, well, the last people hit my car, so just make sure you don't hit my car. And we were like, okay, we won't. Kind of a weird interaction, but fine, whatever. So then we go and we like Sarah decides to do some baking because it's our first like week in the new house. So she bakes some stuff in like the first couple of nights, and we do like I think she did like some cookies that she baked and like something else. I forget what it was. And so we figured, oh, we'll give some to all the neighbors on our side of the building, so all the people that we're going to run into regularly. So we bring them to the two people downstairs. They're really appreciative, really nice about it. We bring them to the family across the way. They're not there. We leave them on the doorstep with a little note. The next day, we come and we find, or well, the next day we come home and we find a basket, a goodie basket of all like organic, sugar-free, healthy, like Trader Joe's things, and we're like, okay, I that's kind of cool, I guess. And then as we were coming into the house, we ran into the wife who was like, "Oh, we don't eat processed sugars in our family. We only do organic and like sugar-free and whatever." And we were like, "Okay, cool." Didn't think anything of it. And then as we were walking out to take the garbage out like later that night, the basket of cookies that Sarah had cooked are in the dumpster. Like they didn't even eat them. They didn't bother giving them to friends or anything. They literally just threw them away. And I was just like, wow, what what sanctimonious assholes. Tell her they were made with
That's
real Girl Scouts. Sorry. What was that, Samson?
yeah. I mean, like I've had some of Sarah's baking, and like that's blasphemy. That's I don't even know what the hell.
Yeah, and that's the thing is all they had to do was say, "Oh, you know what? We actually don't really do a lot of processed sugars or baked goods or carbs or whatever the hell, or gluten if that was their thing." And all they had to do was say like, "Oh, we'll give these to some friends or give them back to us." I would have gladly eaten those cookies. Not that I needed them, but I would have eaten them. Anyways, and that was just the start of the whole neighbor debacle over there. She was nuts. Um, Literally got into a screaming match with me once as I was walking from my car, and I didn't even do or say anything. I was literally just walking out of my car, and she started screaming at me with her family there. So that was fun. Anyways, neighbors, man, I'm telling you. Unprocessed sugars still have the bitchy in them, I guess. Yeah, seriously. Um, but our neighbor here is worse. The guy that lives behind us. Sarah and I came home from work one day, and he had ripped out the fence between our properties and was like literally minutes away from starting to put down a cinder block wall an extra foot into our backyard. Um, and he did all this without checking with us or anything. And we literally were like, hey, stop working. What the hell are you doing? He's like, well, I tried to let you guys know. And so we were like, well, when did you try to contact us? He said, well, I tried several times today. It's a Wednesday. We were at work. What the hell are you thinking, buddy? So it was a whole thing. Anyways, neighbors, man, even fences can't stop them sometimes. Hey, you're here, Varied Machine. How's it going? Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. We started off talking about Revival, which is a not zombie comic about people rising from the dead. And then we transitioned into talking about religion. And then Panic Girl got a surprise visit from some neighbors. So I was, giving some horror stories about my previous neighbors. So that's kind of how we got onto what we're talking about now. Fucking neighbors, yeah. Got to get those electric posts, seriously. Laser turrets, just sitting on top of the house. Pew, pew, pew. Not enough to kill them, just enough to inconvenience them.
The cop from RoboCop, the
Oh yeah, the big,
Killmonger, yeah.
yeah, the big law enforcement robot from RoboCop would do the trick too. Back, they were trying to pawn leftovers off on me. Oh, what terrible neighbors, Ver. They're giving you, or Panic Roll. They're trying to give you food. The nerve. Were they good leftovers? That's the question. You had drug dealer neighbors at your old apartment? Okay, that's pretty bad, actually. Oh, you wouldn't mind if it was good food? Oh, I'm sorry, dude. Speaking of actual zombies, I saw The Dead Don't Die this weekend. Maiming would also work. Yeah, maiming would work. The Dead Don't Die. Oh, is that the one with Adam Driver and uh, the guy from Ghostbusters in it?
The
Sorry, say again, Samson.
movie, is it good? Because I want to watch that. That looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, it looks very entertaining. So let me know if it's any good, Cheeky. I wouldn't mind if it was good food. Okay, yeah, and then Bill Murray, Tilda Swinton. Okay, yep, that's the one. Did you enjoy it? Verd Machine. That sounds like a pretty dramatic neighbor situation. I mean, granted, my previous neighbor was really difficult and crazy, and this guy just decides he's going to do whatever construction he fucking wants. But at least there are no gunshots, so that's a plus. Bill Murray, the guy from Zombieland. It was good. I liked the abuse of the fourth wall. Oh, that's cool. Okay, I'll have to see that. It looks kind of quirky and funny, sort of like Fargo, but with zombies. Samson, how you doing over there with your mic? Were you able to get it fixed?
Don't know. Are you still having trouble hearing me, or
No, I can hear you fine now.
okay? Yeah, I actually just I turned off my streaming of the chat. But he's
Ah,
writing. I apologize for not responding to anything.
well, I'll make sure that I read off any comments if they're directed at you, so don't worry too much about that. So yeah, Revival. I recommend checking it out. Like I said, it's on volume like 8, and I think most of them are collected into um, actual like trade paperbacks, so you don't have to buy individual issues, which I can't stand. It's a terrible business model. But I kind of understand why they do it. Anyways, fourth wall execution is so hard, but if they can pull it off, it's so good. Yeah, I agree. It's one of those things where whenever the people on screen can like try to interact with the audiences, it can be really engaging, or it can be really jarring. One of the two. But yeah, so Revival. That was a good. Baird Machine. Don't distract me. We'll talk about that in a minute. Revival, pretty good. Check it out if you're interested in comics and you want something that's not superhero themed. It's not really horror themed either, but there are some supernatural elements. Yeah, pretty good.
We need a rating system.
We do need a
Half
rating system.
birds, 3.5 ravens, something, some
Yeah,
kind of.
we need a scale of on a scale of 5 caws. How many caws does it earn? But 2 caws has to be the minimum. Like that's the lowest rating because then we can say it's caw. It's in other words, it's a shit comic.
Yes, I see what you did there. Beautiful.
All right. So saw a teaser for Carnival Row. I don't even know what that is. I'll have to look that up. Varied Machine Apex Season 2 releasing at 1 p.m. tomorrow. Yeah, I'm excited. I won't be able to play right away. I'll have to play that evening. Rumors of 2 champions releasing. I know one is Watson. I think the other one is called Cryptic. For those of you who are not Apex Legends fans, just bear with us for a minute. That actually looks really good. I like actually. I'm a really big fan of the some of the little Easter eggs they're putting into the game in preparation for season 2. Like at the base of the cliffs near bridges, there's like a little computer monitor that's looking at the relay tower, and there's like a message. If you crouch down and zoom in, you can read the message. It's something about like exfiltration imminent or something like that. That was kind of cool. So I'm curious what's going to happen with that. But yeah, that's enough Apex Legends talk for now because we don't want to get too far off track. Too late. But anyways, shows your stream game setup. Digging the racer chair. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the chair. I just got it this weekend and set it up. It's my wife was getting tired of me streaming from the front room all the time and basically taking up the livable portion of the house. So we got ourselves a pretty cool desk. It lights up on the side, so you know it's high speed. We got ourselves a cool desk. I picked up a new gaming mouse, which I am a huge fan of. Um, it actually has little compartments on the side. Hold on a second. Let me. Come on. So it's got little compartments on the side that you can open up and you can add weights to it so that the mouse is heavier or lighter depending on like your preferred your preferred feel or your preferred ergonomics. And it is awesome. Also, the lights shift. And again, if it's got fancy lights, you know it's high speed. You haven't been on lately? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's if we should try to jump into a match tonight before season 2 gets started. I'll see if I can't take you over there and we can check it out. What kind of click speed is that running, dude? I don't know. That's a that's a stat that I'm not familiar with. I don't even know how I would check it. It it's pretty quick. I mean, I don't know. I like it a lot. It's got some extra buttons on the side that I haven't tested out yet. I need to figure out all the bells and whistles. I also got a new mechanical keyboard, which is so pretty. I'm a sucker for flashing lights. What can I say? I'm still a kid. Um, and then I also got a new monitor that's really, really good. Actually, it's been helping with my eye strain a lot. So that's been great. Yeah, overall, it's just a cool new game streaming setup, and I'm very pleased with it. It is many fancy lights fast. Yes, exactly. And it's a mechanical keyboard, so it's really loud when you type. But I love it. It sounds like an old school typewriter, which I don't know why, but the writer in me just goes, yeah, that's the stuff. Anyways, Samson, before we transition into the next comic, is there anything else you wanted to talk about? Any movies that you've seen? Anything that was announced recently?
No, but I will be going to watch Spider Man this week. So
Oh, right,
about that next
Spider-Man.
Monday.
Yes,
And that.
I kind of forgot that that was coming out this weekend. Also, I so Spider-Man: Far From Home just released on Netflix last Wednesday, and my Netflix account, my friend that was letting me borrow his Netflix account, let his lapse because he's not using it really. So I haven't been able to see it this last weekend. It's killing me. I'm gonna have to pay for my own Netflix account, like a scrub. Samson, did you hear about Drew Brees' large donation to public schools in New Orleans? What a guy. Hmm.
50,000. I mean, cool, but like he just won 6 million from some Diego that was trying to rob him. He could have spared a little bit more. I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those weird things where these professional athletes get so much money, and you kind of go, well, what are you doing with it? Like other than buying fancy cars and houses and stuff like that. Like we can't really judge them for not donating the money that they've worked hard for towards different causes, but I still do kind of judge them. Like I
I
kind of
actually do, he's pretty solid. Like I follow him on Instagram and stuff, and he actually does a lot of stuff for the city of New Orleans. He does a lot of stuff for San Diego still as well.
okay.
He's a pretty solid guy, and he's got he takes care of his kids and stuff, and
Okay, see that's cool.
it's
I
yeah.
like if they're active in stuff like that and they are like using their largesse to benefit others, I appreciate that because I mean a lot of those people didn't come from really like affluent backgrounds. So, I appreciate that they're capable of recognizing that, other people need some kind of help up in life, and that's kind of cool. So,
He's good. I think it's awesome that he did that. I was
how many desks did that buy? At least
just
36,000? Nice. I am going to work with someone to get a raven pecking at a desk emoji made for subscribers, so keep an eye out for that.
nice.
Meanwhile, GDQ raised over 3 million for Doctors Without Borders this last week. I heard about that. Yeah. So games done quick. They basically are a speed run like marathon, and they do I think it's once a year for different charities. And people do some amazing speed run stuff. Like they finish the original Super Mario Brothers in like 3 minutes or something stupid. I don't know if it's actually 3 minutes, but it's an amount of time that is uncanny. So
I can't get into that. I can't do it. I've tried watching. I can't do it. I'm not a fan of speedruns. I
See,
just don't like them.
I'm only a fan of speedruns where they actually go through the game without using any exploits or like coding bugs. Um, those I don't think really count, but actual legit speedruns where they figured out how to dodge the certain monsters or how to get around certain boss fights or whatever. Those are kind of cool for me. I was watching the last hour. They raised 650,000 in 1 hour. Wow, that's awesome.
That was amazing.
Yeah, good on them. I would love to be able to say that I could raise that kind of money for a charity. So, but let's talk a little bit more about comics. Let's jump into the other comic that I read this last week, and it is called Night Owl Society by IDW. And I'm going to need some water before I launch into talking about this one. Give me a sec. They're going to be at TwitchCon. That's awesome. I'll see if I can swing by and talk to them. Because, by the way, we're going to TwitchCon this year. I bought tickets for me and Sarah earlier this week. Samson, I don't know if you're able to get the time off. We'll have to talk about that. But if so, I'd love to buy a ticket for you too.
Yeah, we'll talk later.
Okay, cool. My mic lights up when I mute it. Yeah, it's awesome. It's another flashy light. But yeah, Night Owl Society. It's not good. I don't want to say that it's bad, but it is not. It's not a good comic. The basic concept behind it is like, oh, this high school kid finds out about the operation of some criminal group and decides to um like go recruit other high school kids to help break up their little criminal empire or operation. Which, okay, fine, so far so good, standard comic book fare, but it's very kind of down to earth and gritty in a way that makes it not make any mother frickin' sense. Like, apparently the the blonde girl here, the she's captain of her school's volleyball team, but she's also like like the entire group or team kind of accepts that she's the best fighter to the point where a couple of like big muscled thugs come up behind her and grab her and put a knife to her throat, and they all kind of just laugh it off, and then she kicks their asses, and it's just like, how did she become like a Krav Maga expert when she's 16 and mostly has just played high school volleyball? It doesn't make any logical sense because they don't even say anything in the comic about like, oh, she's been practicing martial arts since she was 4 or something like that. At which point I could be like, you know what, comic book martial arts, fine. I get that. I can get behind it. I can suspend my disbelief enough to go, fine, this works. Panic Roll, you were expecting me to say I loved it. Looks like Buffy mixed with Stranger Things. It was mediocre. Yeah, kind of Buffy mixed with Stranger Things, kind of like that. Although there's really no supernatural element to it at all. It's very gritty, very down to earth. Um, there's another character in there, the girl with the dark hair and the hoodie, who is kind of an expert on like the underworld and like as in like the criminal underworld and criminal operations and underhanded dealings and gangs and things like that, and they don't ever explain how she knows this stuff. At one point one of the other characters is like, how do you know all this? And she's like, oh, I do my homework or something stupid. And I know that it's kind of like setting up to drop that as like the next kind of major story arc in the next volume, but the result is not, oh, this is an intriguing concept and I need to know more. The result is, how the fuck? And that's pretty much where it ends. So, yeah, also You all let me know if you're planning on reading it, because if you are, I don't want to spoil anything. But the main character is the wimpy looking kid with the baseball bat, and he basically finds out the he finds out something about this particular criminal operation and decides that he's going to, recruit his friends to, or well, these other kids to go take it down. But they never explain how he found out the piece of information that sets him on this path. You're just kind of expected to take it at face value. Um, okay, so no plans, nope, and no. Okay, good. So here's the deal. Let's get into it. So the dad, that's the guy in the background with the shotgun, he's this kid's dad, the main character's dad. So the dad gets diagnosed with cancer and decides to break bad, quote unquote, on his son by killing his best friend slash teacher slash mentor and like cutting the guy's hands off and mailing them to the school in a box to like really kind of drive home the horrifically violent end that the guy had met. And the teacher's not a bad guy. He's not a rival mobster. He's not. There's no illusion that he's some kind of child predator or anything like. He's just a random like priest that teaches at this private Catholic prep school. And the dad goes, "Hey, my son respects you and likes you, and he confides in you. So I'm going to kill you in order to piss him off and make him toughen up, so that he can take over this criminal empire that I've built when I die of cancer."
Okay.
Which is the dumbest fucking setup. Like it just the number of completely unrealistic decisions that people have to make in this comic in order for the concept to be carried out is mind-boggling. It's like someone went, "Oh, I've got this concept," and didn't bother actually figuring out this like the foundation or the lead up to it so that it made sense. Didn't know Alfred Pennyworth had a kid. Yeah, right? Seriously. Unless he wants to die faster from non-cancer. um, so yeah, it never really explains how the kid finds out that his dad killed the teacher. It just kind of says that he did, and you're expected to just take that as what happened. And then, so the kid's doing this stuff to undermine his dad's criminal empire, all the while, and he thinks he's doing it in secret without his dad knowing. But all the while, the dad knows that the kid is doing it, but they never tell you how the dad knows that the kid's doing this. Like it's just people having information for the sake of plot convenience.
Is this supposed to be a limited thing or is it an ongoing series?
See, that's a good question. I don't know. I when I read through it, I kind of looked at it as a limited thing, but then there's some extra stuff in there where they're talking about like secrets that one of the other character has that will jeopardize the team and all this other crap. So it makes me think that they're planning on doing a second volume, focusing more on the other characters and kind of their subplots. So I'm not entirely sure. Ellie says, "Sounds very juvenile for plotting and character, like kids playing in a sandbox. As a writer, I know that drives you nuts." Oh, God, yes. Yeah. Digit, hi. How's it going? Thanks very much for joining. Thank you for tuning in. How's it going? We're just talking about comics. I'm talking about a comic that I just read and was not a fan of, to put it mildly. Plus, the art style in it is not great. Like this cover is the best art in the entire comic. The rest of it is kind of reminiscent of like old school comic strips, circa like 1960, 1970. Um, let me see if I can find. Actually, let me see if I can find an example of it. It's not what I wanted to do. Like this is the comic style throughout the entire thing. And I don't mind a relatively simplistic art style. It doesn't have to be fully 3D rendered, super like modern, fancy art. I'm cool with art styles like this when it really fits the story and the genre and the atmosphere. And I don't feel like this does that. They're going for a more gritty kind of noir crime drama, and it just doesn't accomplish that. It seems more silly and ridiculous. There's another example. Yeah, it's rather boring. Sounds like some rich kid with zero writing skills just put this together. I'm not going to say that. I'm not gonna say that the writer is a bad writer. I'm saying this particular story is not particularly great. Everybody has hits and misses, and that's true whether you're talking about people who are just doing regular day-to-day jobs or people who write comics or movies or whatever. I'm not impressed though. As a beta reader, I find I've become a more critical content consumer, especially when I feel that the writers are trying to manipulate me through tropes, etc. Yeah, I can agree with that, Ellie, 100%. Actually, I thought a great example of this was Pixar recently did like a little animated short about a kitten meeting like a pit bull or something like that in an alley. And everybody was like, oh, it's so heartfelt. And I watched it and went, this is prepackaged consumerist garbage. And I hate to sound like pretentious artsy fartsy about it, but it hit all the major tropes for like this should make you feel this and this should make you feel that, rather than just kind of giving me something and letting me feel what I was going to feel out of it. So I agree with you. I hate when they try to force you to feel a specific thing. Art doesn't fit the story. Night Owl Society is in South Park, right? I don't know. You'd have to tell me. Like Clint Barton in his versus the Russian mob phase. Yeah, yeah, kind of. I can agree with that. Oh, speaking of which, I heard a rumor. We were talking about this before, Samson, where we were thinking like what we would want to see Disney's streaming do, like Disney Plus. And I had mentioned that it would be really cool to see Clint Barton like passing on the Hawkeye mantle to Kate Bishop as a sidekick type thing. And apparently that's what they're doing.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that. I think it's going to be great.
What Disney's going to do with this? I'm kind of worried though because they're putting some pretty like it seems like they're going to charge a lot. That's for what they're doing.
Oh, really?
I mean,
Mm,
I don't know if they're.
I'm not sure how I feel about this. Oh, sorry, Night Owl Society. Something else that like really bothered the hell out of me. So there's the scene towards the end where the main character is having like the showdown with the dad, and his sister, the dad's daughter, is there, and he's kind of like the dad's kind of implying that she's in danger if the kid doesn't kill the dad in order to like complete his journey to the dark side and take over the criminal empire, which ugh, first off. Second off, he's like, "Oh well, I'm gonna do something that's not according to your plans," and he puts the gun against his head. And then like the sister and the dad both try to rush him to stop him, and then the very next panel is like the sister laying dead in a pool of blood, and I'm just like, what the frick happened there? Like that's the kind of thing you should probably have expanded on in a little bit more detail, because the jump just doesn't make any logical sense from a narrative perspective or from the perspective of like gun handling. And granted he's a kid, but that like just general mechanics of handling a gun, like pointing the gun up here to the person that's over here getting shot and killed. I don't know how that's possible, and they don't show it. So it's enraging. It's so bad. Disney just pushed back a bunch of Fox 20th Century films. I'm a little irritated. I'm not surprised that they were going to do that. They probably have to reassess whether or not those films still fall within their brand. Not saying I agree with it, just that it doesn't surprise me. Sounds like it copied Mark Antony and Pussyfoot in that Pixar short. Sure. I don't know. I'm not familiar with those two references. I like how the sister seems to have been passed over in the inheritance of the baddie empire. Yeah, the sister was basically just there to be someone for the kid to rescue and then get killed. I mean, that's like problematic storytelling 101 when it comes to like, you know, writing female characters that have their own agency and are actually characters rather than plot devices. But anyways, seems almost like a cross between Godfather and Umbrella Academy without the special powers. Yeah, and without the good writing or the interesting character interactions or any of the stuff that would make me want to come back. So yeah, gotta wait 2 years for Avatar 2, 4 years for Avatar 3, 5 years for Avatar 4, and 8 years for Avatar 5. Which is why they're making five of them, about to ruin the whole movie. I mean, I don't know that that's necessarily true. That it's gonna ruin the whole movie. The movie was not good to begin with. The special effects were impressive at the time, but the movie itself is pretty subpar. Um, Basically, if you've seen the movie Fern Gully, you saw a much cheaper to produce like prequel to Avatar. I'm just saying. Also, better acting because Robin Williams was in Fern Gully. Panic Girl will be back. Leia needs to go out. All right, see you when you get back. Good girl, Leia. The Looney Tunes big bulldog getting, and the tiny kitten that he gets all sweet over. Oh yes, okay, gotcha. That was a Looney Tunes reference with Mark Antony and Pussyfoot. I'd forgotten what those characters' names were. Not a huge fan of Avatar either. She'll agree to disagree on that. Fair enough. I mean, everybody's got their own opinions. And with Night Owl Society, you might read it and think that it's great. I mean, it is. Some people really like that kind of crime noir drama in their comics, and that's cool if you're into it. I say more power to you. It just, for me, it was not a comic that inspired a desire to read more of it. So take that for what you will. Did you? I like Avatar. I. If you like Avatar, that's great. I'm not saying anything bad about people who enjoy the movie. I'm saying I thought it was subpar. You know, your mileage may vary. Samson, what did you think of Avatar? What was your take on it?
I waited for a year and a half to watch that movie about how great it was. I heard stories that it was such a great movie and it made such a commentary on humanity, supposedly killing themselves over it and stuff. And 10 people to watch it. I went to ask somebody a question about it, and everybody was asleep. And I was like, "Yep, that's exactly how I feel about this movie." It was just a complete letdown. I don't know if it got overhyped, but I'm fine never watching another one.
Yeah, same.
That's just my opinion.
Some people also want to just enjoy and not think too deep on it, and that's fair. Yeah, I'm like if you like the visuals on it and you enjoyed that aspect, great. Like I said, more power to you. Do your thing. Rock on. It's beautiful to watch, just like the artwork. Yeah, and that again, that's cool. It just wasn't for me. Not that I need all of my movies to have a ton of substance. I am a Marvel Cinematic Universe like diehard fan. Not all of those movies have a lot to them under the surface, so I can appreciate the spectacle of something as well. I thought the spectacle for Avatar was okay. Um, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I think James Cameron throws too much money at his projects and doesn't put enough depth. No Titanic jokes here. Oh, for some reason they got that got. What in the world? So my mod system flagged Ellie's latest comment saying that it was sexually inappropriate and wanted to know if I was going to allow it or not.
What is the
Apparent,
comment?
it's I think James Cameron throws too much money at his projects and doesn't put enough depth. No Titanic jokes here. So I don't know if it was the tit part of Titanic, but it says added permitted term James Cameron.
That's awesome.
Apparently, Twitch filters recognize James Cameron as a sexually explicit term. Who knew?
Huh.
Have you heard about the James Cameron, the sexual trend that all the teenagers are doing these days? Find out more at 11.
Right.
Yeah, anyways. The mod system is offended by people who offend James Cameron. Oh, that's what it is. So it's the mod system AI really liked Avatar, and so it doesn't appreciate what we're saying about it. That must
It's
be what it is.
Skynet.
Oh my
It's
god, it is
Skynet defending
Skynet.
him.
It's TwitchNet.
Oh my god, this is how it starts.
Eh. Honestly, though, if the machine's entire like starting move is to passive aggressively moderate like or censor comments about their movie makers that they like, I think we're probably going to be okay.
I don't know. This might be a genius move. They can get all humanity fighting with itself.
I guess that's true. We'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. Anyways, uh, yeah. So next week, we just call that Tumblr. Next week, I'll be talking about Alien Dead Orbit. I'm really excited for that one. I'll probably show some pages of that one on the stream, just because the art style on that one really fit the theme and the atmosphere. So I'm excited to talk about that guy. And then Samson, which book were you looking for? It was Spawn something.
It was, I think, I want to say it was like Spawn Dark Ages. Somebody mentioned it in chat. I wrote it down somewhere, but I kind of have stuff still boxed up and stuff around, so not sure where everything's at. But other books that I've been interested in grabbing, so
Okay.
I will find what I can find.
I found one on. Oh, good God! Spawn the Dark Ages complete collection for $202 on Amazon.
Oh, that's all.
Yeah. Let's.
So I might not be reading Spawn.
Apparently, it's a 28 book series. That might be why.
No. Wow, that's a lot.
Oh no, it's just reprints issues number 1 through 28. So it's only 28 issues. It must be available for cheaper somewhere. It's available
Yeah, that's
for
pretty crazy.
ebook. Even the ebook on Kindle is $48.
That's yeah.
You've got to be kidding me. We will find a way to get that to you so you can read it, but that's insane. Just saying. The low, low price of $202. Yes. Mood. Hey, welcome back, Panic Roll. Welcome back, Leia. You're such a good girl. Such a good puppy. Stranger Things 3. Oh, hey, cannot wait for that this weekend. Actually, that's another reason I've got to get my Netflix account set back up. Tumblr's just not the same without the not safe for work. Not going to touch it. Let's just move on. Kind of neutral on Stranger Things 3, keeping my expectations low. Agreed, we lost a lot of great creators in protest to that purge. What? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
So
what's
what
going
about
on here?
Stranger Things 3? Tumblr purge was a mess, so lame. Yeah, I know that they banned a bunch of stuff that really wasn't considered adult content. So yeah. Just 39 payments of $39 and this knife set can be yours. Honestly, I will be 100% frank with you. If I started to get door-to-door comic book salesmen coming to my house, I would be way more invested in answering my door. I would also probably be a lot more broke than I am now. She's ignoring me. She got a treat. Good girl, Leia. You enjoy that treat. Now they're all in Reddit. Yeah, I guess that's true. It was handled badly. A lot of people left over it. When you say a lot of people left, I'm assuming you mean Tumblr. But how does that affect Stranger Things 3? Are those two things... Are those two statements related? No, I just realized you were saying that you agreed to Verd Machine's previous comment about Tumblr not being the same without the not safe for work. That makes way more sense. It's a separate comment. Okay. I'm, the gears in my brain were turning. Smoke was starting to come out my ears as I was trying to figure out how the hell those two things were related. That's funny. Too funny. All right, so let's move over to talk about our comic for a little bit. Samson's been diligently working while I'm over here yammering away. So talk to us about what you have going on there, Mister Samson.
So this is the same page from last week.
Okay.
I basically, as you've probably seen me do 3 or 4 times in this stream alone, I'm not too confident or I'm not too happy with the way I'm still using the pen. So I've been kind of drawing a panel and then purging it, drawing a panel and purging it, and it's just I just got to get used to it. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm currently trial and erroring.
Gotcha. Well, it looks great. Can you zoom in on that middle panel?
Sure.
The new not safe for work ST3 is a totally different. I don't even want to know. Nope. 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 Is it about killer bunnies? No, it's not about killer bunnies. The bunnies just happen to be there, and they are gonna get warned away from an impending forest fire that's about to start. So that looks great, dude.
Thank you.
How can you say that you're not happy with the pen work?
Yeah, the line weights are a little. I still don't got the control that I want
Oh, gotcha.
for, and there's like a shakiness to it still. I still got to work out some stuff, but
Well, I imagine the like the tactile aspect of it is a little bit different, working between like from paper to working on the pad with the pen because it doesn't have that same grip, right? So it's a little bit slicker.
yeah, it's really smooth. But apparently there's like tips you can put on here. Like I have some. I got to try them out though, see how it works out.
Hmm, that's cool. Well, it looks great. Can we take a look at the top panel?
Sure.
The bones of 40 and 50 men strewn about. I get the feeling that that is a Monty Python reference. If I know anything about Panic Roll, that's a Monty Python reference. The big pointy nasty teeth. Yeah, it's almost assured. Confirmed. I know you too well, Panic Roll.
So that's it without the underdrawing because there's the original scan from the 3x5
I see. Gotcha.
ink right there.
So, can you scroll just a little bit so we can see a little bit of both panels? Like,
Sure. Oops.
so you can clearly tell that there a lot more time and effort went into the second panel. My question is that necessary for the panels, or could you theoretically leave it at the first panel kind of level of detail and whatnot?
Sure.
I'm not saying you should. I'm just asking you to talk me through it.
Well, for the top panel, I'll definitely be doing that because that creates a sense of depth a little bit as well.
Okay.
Um, so it's just going to depend really what I'm drawing, and that's honestly where the biggest trouble I'm having right now is currently on our character.
Okay. Well, yeah,
Um,
because I imagine like the different line weights are even more noticeable when you're trying to get a human figure kind of drawn out because it's a little bit more noticeable.
yeah, the main problem I'm having is with my cross hatching. Like
Okay.
it's hard to get like a consistent. I'm used to having like I got this flick down with the pin, get a nice even uh, like tone with it, and I'm still struggling with that a little bit. So it's kind of hard to shade like her like the neoprene of her outfit.
Interesting. Is there not like some kind of fancy Photoshop tool that you could use to take the place of the cross hatching, like to add shading, or
I
not?
mean, I could probably create a brush that'll just cross hatch for me, and there's a couple other things I could do too. But I do actually want to get this down, and I should have it soon. I mean, I can see improvement more time I'm spending on it.
Okay.
There's definitely ways to cheat. Some of doing I'm not 100% sure yet. You kind of introduce a little bit of a grayscale to it.
Okay. Well, the
I'm not
philosophy
sure though.
the philosophy that I've heard is you want to learn how to do it right at first, and then incorporate the cheating methods as you go, so that if you ever don't have the cheats available, you still know how to do the thing. Oh, hold
What's
on.
up?
Ellie says, I really wish you guys discussed your comic first sometimes. Oh, sorry, Ellie. I feel like a total hater to peace out right before when you start talking it up. Gotta get to bed. All right, that's fair. Have a good night. We may change up the format the next time you're on to accommodate that so we can talk about the comic a bit more for you. But thanks very much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. And we will see you next time, hopefully.
Good night. Might be a good idea to alternate, maybe.
Yeah, start off talking about the comic one Monday and then the next Monday talk about other stuff. Jump back and forth. I'm cool with that. All right. Well, so let's see. What else are we going to talk about? So first off, we're going to Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con. We'll be there this year. So if any of you viewers are going to be there, feel free to come check us out. We'll post our schedule and whatnot, like where we'll be and what we'll be doing. But basically, we're doing board game demos. So hopefully we see you there. I mentioned earlier that I was planning on going to TwitchCon this September, which should be a ton of fun. Uh-oh. Everybody still there?
Still here.
Still here? Weird. My
Either one.
my Wi-Fi is giving me a message saying that the Wi-Fi is no longer connected, which is weird to me. We're still connected, so let's keep forging ahead. No internet.
By the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, exactly. Panicle, you and DefCon are going to TwitchCon too. That's awesome. Sweet. We'll have to plan that out. Beard Machine, this year's Comic Con is in 2 weeks. It starts June 16th. It's madness. I haven't fully planned everything out yet. I need to sit down and nail out some details, or nail down some details, hammer out some details, whatever the saying is. I need to do that. In July, yeah. Comic Con is in July 16th through 19th or 21st or something like that. I think 16th is the Wednesday, so that's preview night, but technically it starts then. So yeah, that'll be interesting. Live stream from Comic Con. Oh, good God! I just did a little twist to pop my back, and it it worked. I might be paralyzed from the waist down.
Bad.
Oh, I'm not sure. That didn't hurt, but I'm not sure I like the way it felt. I'm gonna try to make TwitchCon, but no promises as of right now. It'd be great if you could make it out, dude. If you can, we've got couch space for you to crash on. One of these years, I'm gonna bring my oldest to Comic Con. Just gotta work up the courage. Yeah, man. Just let me know. I'm happy to help out in whatever way I can. I think that would be awesome. I think they would enjoy it a lot. I think she would enjoy it a lot. So, you just let me know. We'll make plans for it. But live stream from Comic Con would actually be a really cool idea. We have to figure out.
Be like an after the con type thing. I don't. You'd have to, unless you were just doing it off of a phone. It seems like it'd be kind of hard to set everything up.
Yeah, I mean, we've got some cameras and stuff like that. The key thing would just be having Wi-Fi that's strong enough to actually support the live stream. Plus, the room is really loud, so I don't know how well the sound quality would carry over. But I mean, we could probably do some stuff. Everyone here's so old. Nice, real nice, Vered Machine. Had her really young, though I'm pushing 40. Okay, I didn't know you were that old, Panic Roll. I mean, I'm 36, so 37.
That
Oh,
is
you're
great.
only a year older than me, Panic Roll. 25 is really young. Yeah, pretty young. I mean, for having a kid, let's be honest. Most people aren't ready to have a kid by the time they're in their 30s, much less in their 20s. That's cool. I'm 21. You were 21, she was born. Okay. Yeah. Anywho, I don't know. What else do we want to talk about? Is there anything else to talk about? We
Trying
don't
to think
want
if there's any other comic news, but I can't think of anything.
same. We don't want to get too far into talking about the next issue of the comic, just because we don't want to get too far ahead of what Samson's got going on. So,
Yeah, I think what I'm going to probably do to kind of help with that a little bit is I am going to focus a lot of my effort on a little bit of doing this all in pages with real ink and pens and whatever. That should speed things up a little bit while I get the hang of this.
okay, cool. Faired Machine, it's seen so many 16-year-olds with kids. It's just normal now. Yeah, that's kind of a scary thing. Like, nobody should be kind of in a position where they're saddled with that kind of responsibility for the rest of their lives when they're, 16, 17.
Kind of feeling like Bob Ross here.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Uh, that's actually not a bad thing, man. Just keep making those happy little trees and that one really villainous person. Um, the Cyberpunk 2077 install size is 80. Wow. I don't want to talk about that. Time to delete Fortnite. Yeah, Fortnite's not that good a game, anyways. Actually, I can't say that. I've never played it. The aesthetic of it doesn't appeal to me in the slightest. But talk to talk Rossi to us there, Samson.
I don't know if I have that sunny of a disposition to be able to pull off Mister.
Right? Like he just has that. It was not just his skill as a painter; it was his personality, and I don't know how you can really mimic that. Although apparently there is a Japanese guy who does watercolor paintings, who is kind of regarded as like the Japanese Bob Ross. And I watched a couple of his videos the other day, and he's really good. Also, I have no idea what he's saying because I don't speak Japanese, but he's very kind of soothing and slow and methodical, and it was really cool to watch. So okay, so let's talk about something. I just came across a headline that's actually very interesting to me. So Doctor Disrespect, I mean, we mentioned him. I think it was last week. We were talking about this Twitch streamer called Doctor Disrespect who was banned from TwitchCon, um, or not banned from TwitchCon. Was had his E3 badge revoked and was banned from Twitch for a couple of weeks. And I was like, oh, that doesn't seem like it's very long. This seems like it's a more serious infraction than that. Apparently, he actually went on his Twitter account and was posting as himself, not as Dr. Disrespect, not as his Twitch persona. And he actually came out and kind of said, "Hey, I'm sorry that this happened. This is we weren't really thinking it through, and you know, so I'm just gonna read this real quick." Mm, actually,
Winner.
I'm not quite sure how I feel about this post. So this is what he says. He says, "We were so into the E3 journey that we became a little blind in what's okay and what's not okay. We had no ill intentions, and I feel that was pretty obvious if you watched the entire thing. We wanted to capture an adventure. Unfortunately, we took that adventure into the wrong areas, unaware of the legalities surrounding it. On behalf of the Dr. Disrespect brand, I apologize for this." So that comes across to me like he's apologizing for the legal aspect, for doing something that he got into trouble for, not for doing something that was incredibly disrespectful to the privacy of innocent bystanders, which is the problem for me. Like, sure, it's against the law, but I don't think that inherently means anything.
I got caught. I got caught.
Right? Yeah, like he got caught and he got in trouble, and he's apologizing for that, kind of from a damage control perspective, and from a legal perspective, more so than from a, hey, what I did was really shitty to people who weren't expecting to be live streamed while they were going to the bathroom, standing at a urinal, whatever. Like, I don't know. That's that's my opinion on it. Bear Machine, yeah, I didn't mention how it was morally wrong. Yeah, exactly. Like I don't care that you're in the moment. I've done a lot of live action role play where, I've been up for 16 hours straight playing a character fighting against people that were, trying to kill my friends and I, and very, emotional heavy stuff as we're like, playing through this scenario where the city's under siege and falling to these cannibalistic monsters that are eating innocent bystanders and stuff like that we're not able to save. And, you know, in a good game, you get in the moment. There are still things that are very obviously not okay to do, even when you're in the moment. So I don't buy the, well, I was just so into it that I didn't realize that it was wrong to do, that it was, whatever. Like, whatever. I don't buy it.
I don't understand the whole. We didn't that it was illegal. Like, how do you not know that filming in a bat? Like, what the hell?
You know what? Even if it's not illegal, because apparently there's it, people have very specifically pointed out that California has a law making it illegal to film in bathrooms. Period. Apparently, that's not necessarily the case in other states. But even if you don't know it's against the law, if you think for half a second, should I go into a public bathroom while I'm in a crowded event? Not a public bathroom I think might be empty, but a crowded event where there are guaranteed to be people in there. Should I walk in with a camera that's live streaming to the public? How can you not have a moment of going, no, that's a really fucking stupid idea?
I don't understand.
And I think that's Doc, like that's Doctor Disrespect. That's just who he is. I think that's bullshit. You're an adult. You can think through your shit. Can you film when you're alone in a stall in California? I don't know. I'm not going to get into the legalities of it because I'm not a lawyer. I mean, the fact of the matter is, if you are filming other people, which he was, intentionally or not, and you are live streaming that to the public, that's just not okay. And half a second and half a brain cell should be able to tell you that. I don't know who Jonah is. I don't know what the scenario was there. I mean, if he caught other people in the bathroom, I think that's just as wrong. Filming yourself from a stall in a bathroom is kind of weird if you're actively going to the bathroom. Like, gross. Is it technically pornographic? I don't know. That's a weird gray area that we'd have to talk through, and I don't think we should on stream. But like, just pretty sure no. Filming in any way in a public bathroom is illegal here. Yeah, and I just think that makes sense. I mean, it's too easy to be like, well, I was filming myself and I just happened to drop the camera under the stall and catch the next person. Like it, I don't know. It's weird. It's gray area. Next subject. I agree. So I thought it was interesting that he issued an apology. I'm not sure how I feel about the apology, but it would be. Oh well, hold on. It looks like there might be an extended version of it.
It is cool though that he kind of stepped out of character to do it. It
Yeah.
speaks a little bit of volume to me. Him, so I don't know. Heard of him, but we'll see.
I
Justifies
think
that.
I think he's basically coming out and saying, I think he's trying to say like, hey, I realize that I screwed up, but he can't, like it's kind of a weird position to come out and say that from a legal perspective because you get people who would take the opportunity for him coming out and apologizing, and they would be like, oh well, he apologized, so he must know he did something wrong, so I'm going to press charges or sue him or whatever. So I kind of understand it from a damage control perspective. Pineapples on pizza, yes or no? Yes,
I
unequivocally.
don't. I don't eat pizza without pineapple.
I can eat pizzas without pineapples, but I do think that they make the pizza experience better. Vered Machine, what's your take on that? Thank you. Okay, cool. So you're on the same page. That's great. I'd like to hear that. Digid, what's your opinion? Pineapples on pizza? I'm pretty sure you're in on that, but let me know if I'm wrong. People that say it doesn't belong on it piss me off. Yeah. Well, I mean, again, I understand that it's kind of fun to have a debate and speak hyperbolic, like, oh, if you put pineapple on your pizza, you are what's wrong with the planet or whatever. Um, but the fact of the matter is, it's not that serious an issue. Eat your pizza the way you want to eat your pizza. Let me eat my pizza the way I want to eat my pizza. It's not that hard. Having said that, pineapple on pizza is probably one of the greatest inventions or breakthroughs in human history. Worked at Domino's and the bag of pineapples said pizza cut pineapples.
That's
Pineapple on
funny.
pizza is the right way to eat pizza. Now, luckily, my wife just came home. I could ask her for her opinion, but I know what her opinion is. She agrees that pineapple on pizza is the bomb. So, yep, there it is, right there. You heard it from her. It's hilarious, but I won't be friends with someone who says otherwise. Again, if someone says they don't like pineapple on pizza, that's fine. But someone who tells me that I shouldn't eat pineapple on my pizza, that's where it kind of gets into like, tone it down, buddy, territories. You despise pineapple, but pineapple on pizza is delicious. How can you despise pineapple? It's so good. Too much of it cuts up the roof of your mouth, though. I can get behind that. Pineapple on pizza is delicious. So we're all in accord. That's great. We are the pineapple on pizza brigade. Come on, Kudo. One of my cats is like talking to me through the door. Wants me to pay attention to him, but he won't come in, so he doesn't get love. A Kudo cat. Yep. One of these days I'll get to show him on stream, but he's a little bit more standoffish. He doesn't really jump up into laps unless you're sitting in the bathroom with him, which is weird. Like, I don't. Anyways, he likes to get his attention when you're in the bathroom. That's all I can say about him. He's a weird cat. Grilled pineapple on a burger? Oh yeah, pineapple burgers can be delicious. Or a kebab? Kebab. Yeah, pineapple's versatile. There's a restaurant near me that does bacon wrapped dates, which are phenomenal, I will say. But it kind of makes me want to try bacon wrapped pineapple as a little hors d'oeuvre thing. So like just a little like a little chunk of pineapple with some bacon wrapped around it. Obviously bacon cooked. I think that would be really good. You're over
Well,
dates
that
and have been for
could be bad
years.
at all.
Sorry, say that again, Samson.
I must have pineapple with bacon wrapped around it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that one of these days. Panic Girl, your over dates have been for years. You just need to get back out there on the dating scene, man. Download a couple dating apps.
Now,
No, nothing. Come on. I'm pretty sure there's a dating app out there called Figure. Helps you find the right date for you. Sorry, it's terrible. Uh, anyways, as diabetic, I draw the line at pineapple on burgers. Must have some self-control. Yeah, I can see that. Like, there are extenuating circumstances that have to limit your pineapple intake. But speaking of burgers, 4th of July, can't wait to have burgers. You coming over, Samson? You guys think about it?
if it happens, it's going to be just me because apparently Seth's doing something too. I will
Oh.
be by myself on the 4th, so
Yeah, your kids are too cool to hang out with their old man anymore.
just
Well, if you do come over, you are welcome.
I may have to take you up on that. I may have to bring bacon and pineapple.
Ooh, yeah. Put that over the grill for a couple minutes right at the end. That would actually probably be really good. All right, Panic Roll. See you when you get back. Digid, it's damn tragic, though. Yeah, it is tragic. Anytime you have to limit yourself from what you can eat, it's always kind of a bummer. July 4th is on Wednesday, still streaming. July 4th is on Thursday, dude. Please tell me it's on Thursday. Because if it's on Wednesday, I have grossly misjudged my schedule for the week. Nope, it's on Thursday. Whew. So I am going to stream Wednesday. I'm going to do Sekiro on Wednesday for sure, because that's my normal stream time. And then I'm gonna start adding in some extra stream sessions over the course of the week. I want to do I want to do an Apex stream once a week, and I want to do my BattleTech stream a couple times, or once every other week. So, or maybe we'll flip flop. So like Apex, then BattleTech, then Apex, then BattleTech. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But that's the plan for right now. I just have to figure out the exact timing on it. Got to get those squad streams set up. Yeah, seriously. I actually was watching. I jumped in on a stream earlier today that was doing that, and it was kind of interesting to watch. So it was cool to be able to see what the different team members were doing. Hey, Hero Ferret, thanks very much for stopping in. Nice to see you, man. How was your weekend? Oh, shoot. You know what we didn't do? You know what we have to do? We have to do our drawing for our followers. I meant to do that at the beginning of the stream. I totally forgot. So the last one that we did went to... Okay, there we go. Now we are going to do this. Random number generator for the win. Between 1 and 117, generate 57. Come on. Oh, she just missed it. Cheeky Ellie won. Cheeky Ellie is the winner for the stream draw this time around. So Ellie is going to get a piece of art from the Villains and Henchmen game, some original concept art, or she's going to be getting like a page from the comic or something along those lines. We'll figure out exactly what it is, but Digid, you'll have to let Ellie know that she won if and when you get the opportunity. Pretty good, and I'd rather not talk about it. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope your night gets better and that tomorrow treats you better as well. Once you reach gold, kind of switch focus. Really want to try out TFT since it's like auto chess. I don't even know what that is. Kashra, welcome. Good evening. Nice to see you. Hey, Ellie. Oh, congrats. Yeah, congrats to Cheeky, wherever you may be. She signed off for sleep, I think. So she will find out. She will find out that she won sometime. Probably if she shows up to my Wednesday stream like she should, then she will find out then. There we go. Cool. So we'll show off the piece that she won before we send it off to her. Actually, do we have a piece already set aside for this drawing, Samson? I think we did. I think we've got a bunch of concept art stuff over here at the house, don't we?
I'll do exactly what all you have, but yeah, there is quite a bit.
Okay. Well, we'll find it. We'll post a picture up so that everybody can see it. That way we can get hyped. Check out the next drawing. Once we hit 100 followers, we'll do the next drawing. So we're actually well on our way to it. We're at 80 now. So we've gained 5 just in the last week. She is cheekily pleased. Excellent. Veered Machine says, "Yo, Samson, where can I buy some of your art? My walls are too dull."
Be on Instagram, sour_muse, and we can work something out. And if you get a chance to come to Comic-Con, doing some of the prints from the Senua the Hellblade.
That's right.
Some of those will be available, and again, donated, and I'm gonna have some other prints too, which I will be unveiling shortly. They are not stream related though.
Oh, there's something else entirely.
This crazy idea, and I had to run with it. It's nuts. I'll tell you about it later, but I'm not ready to show anything off on it yet. So
Sounds good.
work on
So, Verid, if you won't be able to make it to Comic Con, you can still contact Samson through Instagram. I'm circling his username right there, sour_muse. I will also put it in the Twitch chat just so you can find it. But I definitely support you supporting him because he is awesome. There you go. That should be his Instagram link. Guaranteed Apex has over 200,000 viewers tomorrow. Yeah, I might. On the one hand, I kind of want to stream it tomorrow, but on the other
you
hand,
should.
I mean, so many other people are going to be streaming it too. I don't know. I'll see how I'm feeling. Um, do it. All right, I will. Um, actually, here's a quick question. I don't know that we haven't really enough viewers to support it yet. Should we set up a Discord channel for people? That way we can like post pictures and we can post up pages and stuff like that and kind of make it a thing.
I think that's a good idea. Actually, I like that a lot.
Okay. So we'll put together a Discord channel sometime in the next week or two, prior to Comic Con. Well, maybe not prior to Comic Con. It might be after Comic Con. We'll see. But we'll put together a Discord channel. That way, if you guys have like artwork that you want to share with us that you think is really cool, or if you want to ask questions and things like that between streams, we can kind of interact with everybody that way. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So we'll look at setting one of those up. It'll also be a good place for you to check out some of Samson's stuff as he's working through it for the stream. Although maybe we should make that a subscribers only thing. That's what most channels do, but I feel kind of weird about that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I don't want to bore you with the details. So, you gonna be streaming Apex all day? Well, some of us have to work tomorrow, Verd, so I can't stream it all day. But I'll stream it when I get home. I'll have to check with my wife on that, just to be 100% sure we don't have plans for tomorrow, but that'll be my plan. Instagram is embarrassing and hasn't been used in 5 years, so don't judge. We all have a social media account that's like that. I know some people who still have their MySpace accounts.
Actually, nobody does anymore.
Oh no, did they shut it down?
They erased, I think, everything prior to 2012. I think it was, or was it? They wiped the database. So, like, if you thought you had a MySpace, you don't anymore.
That's funny. I never had one, so I don't have to worry about it.
I'm sure we could laugh at mine if we could pull it up.
All right. Well, MySpace is music now, strictly music. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. Who knew? At least they're making use of it. I guess it's kind of like digital recycling. I don't know. Anyways, so I don't know if we've got anything much to talk about left tonight. I think next week we're gonna have a ton to talk about because we'll have Stranger Things, and we'll have Spider-Man: Far From Home.
And if you're up to it, or if you're okay with it, I would actually like to next week to stream live with you.
You'd like to what?
Over and stream.
Oh, from the house?
Doing this stitching, yeah, because this is kind of
a
lot of stuff I want to show off. So.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. We can definitely set that up. I think that would be awesome. So we'll plan to do that next Monday. Have Samson over here. He'll actually be showing some stuff off, some physical art, and then we will talk about those movies. Hero Ferret, it's all good. Thanks very much for tuning in, even if it was briefly. I know I was only able to pop into your stream for a couple minutes today, so appreciate the visit. I hope you have a good rest of the day. I think it's daytime where you are. So we'll catch you later. And I think just in general, I think we'll call it a little bit early tonight. Um, like I said, we'll have more to talk about next week, and then the week after that, we'll kind of see how it goes. We might be jumping into the next issue at that point, but I don't know. We'll see what it's going to look like. Isn't it like 4 a.m. for him? Yeah, it probably is actually, because I realize he's on the other side of the planet. So, all right, Ferret, catch you later. As for everybody else, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for chatting. It's kind of cool to see the progress Samson's making here. And at some point in the near future, I think we'll be hitting our stride and we'll be able to get some more pages done and really make progress with the comic.
Absolutely.
Cool. For those of you who aren't following us, if you are interested in hearing what the heck we talked about for the rest of the stream before you got here, please hit the follow button, and that way you'll get notifications when we go live next time. Otherwise, see you Wednesday for Sekiro. I'm going to be fighting a big badass ninja samurai general guy, probably a lot, before I finally am able to beat him. So tune in and watch me on that. You want to see someone swim across the Pacific Ocean? That was random. Raven hop on Apex. Yeah, I'll definitely be doing that. I'll catch you. Yeah, we'll catch you next time. Samson, I don't know if you have anything you wanted to.
No, just
Yeah, you're cutting out there again, man.
I'll see everybody next week.
Okay.
But yeah,
Well,
this thing's driving me nuts.
We'll have to troubleshoot that mic and see what we can do. All right. Catch you guys later. Have a good night. And if I don't see you on Wednesday or tomorrow, I will have a good week as well. And happy 4th of July.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.